Hello everyone, myself Siddharth Patel, Assistant Professor from the Department of Humanities, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. In this video, we are going to learn about J.S. Mill harm principle. You are familiar with J.S. Mill. He is known as John Stuart Mill and he is famous for his concept of freedom, he is famous for his concept of liberty. And in last video, I have explained you about what is liberty, how we study liberty in political science and how liberty evolved in political theory. And if I am talking about liberty, then we can't forget about the contribution of J.S. Mill. We often say that J.S. Mill has contributed most in this concept, in the concept of liberty. So, it is the image of J.S. Mill, and in J.S. Mill he has written an essay. The name of his essay is on liberty, a book on liberty. In this book, in this essay on liberty, he has mentioned about the harm principle that we are going to learn. So now I quote about the J.S. Mill, that what he has written about the harm principle, that I am quoting here. The sole end for which mankind are warranted individually or collectively in interfering with the liberty of action of any of their number is self-protection. That the only purpose for which the power can rightfully exercise over any member of a civilized community against his will is to prevent harms to other. So, unquote over here. So, it is J.S. Mill, he has written about this thing, about the harm principle. Now, let us understand. I think now you have not understood. You might be saying that, sir, what you are reading, what you are saying. So, we have just taken an original thing, that what J.S. Mill has written. Now, I will explain you that what this statement is about, what this statement is about. So, J.S. Mill has divided self-regarding action and other regarding action. He has distinguished the human action, my action, human action means our action, into two parts. One being self-regarding action, another being another regarding action. So let me explain you. Self-regarding action means I can do whatever I want to do in my personal sphere. But when I am entering or when I am dealing with some other person, then I have to think about his liberty as well. If I am free, then I can do anything. I can do anything in my personal sphere, but when the things come for the other person, when I am interacting with the other person, then I have to respect about the other person liberty. I cannot think of myself. Now here let us take an example. Suppose the government come up with the law that while you are driving, you have to wear your helmet. So government come with this law because if by chance, if you had an accident, then it will not only harm you, it will also affect the other person. It will also affect the other person. You will have an injury, but at the same time the other person will also have injury. So here the government come up with the rule of helmet because it is impacting the other person also, though here the other regarding action. But if it is impacting me only, then here government will not interfere. But when your actions are impacting the other person's life, then government come up with the law or government try to intervene in your liberty. Now I think the example is clear over here. Now we should read this point. Now what are the self-regarding action? In self-regarding action, these actions have the consequences only for individual actor and nobody else. When the consequences are only for the individual, only for myself and nobody else, then it is known as self-regarding action. Where the other regarding action, those actions that also have consequences for other. When your action have consequences for other, then these are known as other regarding action. Now, self-regarding action means the state or any other external authority has no business to interfere. When you are harming yourself, when you are in private affair, the government will not intervene, the state will not intervene. But in other regarding action, there is a possibility of external interference. But in other regarding action, when you are interacting with the society, when you are harming them, then government interfere, then government will come up with the law and government will try to constrain your liberty. Government will try to constrain your liberty, because here you are not impacting yourself, but you are also impacting other person life also. So this is the distinction between the self regarding action and the other regarding action. Self regarding self means मेरा ठीक है. When I am impacting myself, I am free in my private sphere. Other regarding action means तेरा. But when I am interacting with you, when I am harming you, government will interfere over here. So freedom is a core of human society. J.S. Mill say that freedom is a core of human society. We all are fighting for the freedom. In newspaper, in a day or two, or in a TV news channel debate, you have often heard, we want azadi, we want freedom of doing this. Sometimes we fight for the freedom for our parents also. Papa, I am free, I want to do this thing. Papa, I am free, I want to go to this college. So freedom, we all want freedom. I want to become doctor only. Don't impose things on me. Don't tell me that I have to be an engineer, or I want to take a commerce stream, or I want to take a humanities stream. Don't impose me to take a science stream. What we are talking about? We are talking about here is freedom, because freedom is a core of human society. Freedom is a most important political value we the individual are aspiring for. Now let us take an example. Suppose if I am talking about China, have you ever imagined how people are living there? Because they are not having freedom. They have to do whatever their government is saying. They have to listen, they have to speak whatever their government is telling. Suppose if I have locked you in a room, or I have tell you that you have to study only humanities, you have to only become an IAS officer, you can't speak against me, you can't go against your parents, you have to eat daily roti sabzi only, you don't have any other option, then how your life will be? We want choices, we want freedom. I want that I should eat masala dosa, idli, sandwich, burger, roti sabzi, and any n number of things. So we are free over here. So just imagine if I have snatched away our freedom. Like many a time you have heard in a news, internet shut down. Many a time while reading newspaper you have seen that internet has been shut down by people. Have you witnessed your life any time? Like suppose in your area the internet is shut down. So how you will feel? ऐसा लगेगा भाग जाते हैं, है ना? So freedom is a very important thing, and we all fight, we all aspire for freedom. Now harm caused must be serious. Now government should not intervene. Here the point of discussion is the government should not intervene in our freedom. Government should try to give as much as freedom to individual. Government should come up with less number of laws, and individuals should be free to develop their potential. Now here, if the government come with the law, so the government must come up with the law with the other regarding action. When the other person is harming you, then only the government must come up with the law. In your private sphere, the government should not interfere. But when you are interacting in society, when you are impacting the other person's freedom, then only the government should interfere. So that's why J.S. Mill has differentiated between the self and other regarding actions. Now, harm caused must be serious. Constraining action by the force of law should only happen when other regarding action cause serious harm to definite individual. Otherwise, society must bear the inconvenience in the spirit of protecting freedom. Society must be tolerant, because government should only interfere when government should only interfere in other regarding actions. So society must be tolerant enough. I must respect, or I should respect the other person's freedom. I should not be ill-tolerant. Like these words, tolerance, intolerance, azadi, internet shutdown. These are the basic terms that we are witnessing in our day-to-day life. So here the government should come up with the laws only when we are breaching the freedom in the other regarding actions. Now the J.S. Mill has also given the minor harm concept. Minor harm concept means Mills recommend only social disapproval and not the force of law Example, playing music. People should be ready to tolerate but need to extend this tolerance in all cases. Now in previous module, in previous video also I have explained you about, or also I have given you an example about an music. Now it is a minor harm. Suppose I am playing a loud music at a 12 pm or a 2 pm. So it is a minor harm. Here the law should not be there. Here the people of the society should gather and they should ask the person कि भाई वॉल्यूम कम करो. दे शुड आस्क द पर्सन दैट सर can you slow your volume. So in minor harm there should be a societal disapproval rather than law. So government should make less laws. Government should work on less laws and there should be more freedom. There should be more freedom to individuals. There should be more freedom to individual, because freedom is a core value of human society. We all are aspiring for freedom over here. Now what about hate campaigns? Many a time you have seen that like dange ho gaye, many a times you have seen about the violence. Suppose if I am standing here and I am giving a speech in public, okay, take an imaginary example, see, that I am giving a speech in a public and I am asking a particular religious group to do a violent against the another. Now it is a minor freedom or a major, or it is a minor harm or major harm. It is a major harm. Now here the government come up with the law. Government says that you can speak anything. You have complete freedom of speech and expression. But by delivering speech or by saying something, you should not hurt the sentiment of other communities. You should not instigate against the violence. You should not say that maro. Okay? These are the wrong things. These are the unlawful things. We all live in a community. We all should live in a harmony. So hate campaigns, views and action which may put people in danger or foment hatred, cause serious harm. Constraints can be imposed. But we must make sure that constraints imposed are not severe, that they destroy the freedom itself. So J.S. Mill says that government must come up with the constraint, but constraint should not be that tough that destroy the freedom itself. So I can say, or I can conclude, that J.S. Mill is a propounder of freedom or a liberty. He is a hardcore propounder of the freedom. He says that freedom is very much important for the development of personality. Then he has divided self regarding action and the other regarding action. Then he says that government should work only on other regarding action. Government should leave the people, or government should leave the citizens in self regarding actions. Government should only act in the other regarding action. Then he has also explained about the concept of minor harm. In minor harm, he talks about the social disapproval, not of a law. Then he has talked about the hate campaigns. He has criticized the hate campaigns, that it is wrong, that if we have given you a freedom of speech and expression, if you have a right to speak anything, then by exercising this right, you should not instigate violence, or you should not hurt the sentiment of other community. You should be tolerant enough to respect the sentiment of other community as well. So basically J.S. Mill talk about the tolerance, and he has talked about the reasonable restrictions that is also mentioned in our constitution. In our constitution, part 3 talk about the fundamental rights, and in part 3 article number 19 is about the right of freedom. In article 19 in Indian constitution, it is mentioned about freedom of speech and expression. In article 19, it is mentioned about a citizen of India can move in any part of country. Suppose I am living in Madhya Pradesh, I can move to Karnataka, I can move to Bengaluru, and I can settle there. So I have freedom of movement, I have freedom of speech, I have freedom of expression. Okay, so it also comes with the reasonable restrictions. Reasonable restrictions means थोड़ी सी रुकावटें. ठीक है, it comes with the reasonable restrictions. So Indian constitution also talks about the reasonable restrictions over there. We can't give the absolute freedom to anyone else. Suppose if I have given a complete freedom, you can speak anything you want, so he may use the language which is not appropriate. So we can't give a complete freedom, but government should work on the reasonable restrictions, and reasonable restrictions should be minimal. बहुत कम होना चाहिए. ठीक है. These restrictions which are capable of being defended by the reason nor excessive, nor out of population to an action being restricted, impinge on the general condition of freedom in a society and detrimental to the freedom. So, reasonable restrictions are necessary to maintain the harmony and balance in the society. So, it was all about the J.S. Mill concept. He is basically the, I can say, or many scholars say that he is a propounder of freedom, or we can say he is a father in political science in per se, that he is a father of liberty and freedom. Even we talk about John Locke also. John Locke has also propounded the concept of life, liberty and property, but J.S. Mill has talked more in detail about the concept of freedom or about the concept of liberty. I hope you have understood the concept of harm principle that is given by John Stuart Mill, and hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you.